I was not prepared for my first time at Epic Universe. These are the 5 biggest surprises about the new park. Epic Universe is the newest theme park at Universal Orlando Resort, opening May 22nd, 2025. I was recently invited by Universal to a press day to preview the new park. This is the most anticipated theme park of the last 20 years. I had a lot of expectations, so some things were a total shock, particularly number 5. Number 1, Epic Universe is not a one-day park. Whether or not Epic Universe is a one-day park has been a hot topic, particularly because Universal has been saying that Epic Universe is going to make Universal Orlando a 7-day vacation destination. And because the way they're doing tickets, they're not yet selling multi-day tickets for Epic Universe specifically. I wasn't gonna film this one under a table, but then my editor was like, I bet this is gonna be one of the ones where you get under the table, isn't it? And you know what? It is. I'm doubling down, tripling down. How many times have I done this? Ow. With just 13 attractions total, I thought there was a chance the Epic Universe would be a one-day park, particularly once the crowds slow down. This is not the case. Epic is a 2-day park, and for some to truly feel like they got the full experience and do everything they want to do, it just might be a 3-day park. I was on a VIP tour, which is the most expensive way to experience the park, allows you to skip the lines and have a guide to take you around, and I still didn't get through every ride. A major reason for this is that the theming slows you down. The theming of each land is so immersive that you are not going to be beelining for the rides. You're gonna wanna stop and smell the roses, take a look around, see the details, talk to the roaming characters. You're gonna get slowed down, just distracted by the lands themselves, because the lands themselves feel like attractions. So yeah, the theming slows you down, and that's a good thing. I mean, each land has themed food, shows, details, and characters, which we'll talk about more in a bit, so there's a lot to look at. The one case where I would say Epic Universe is probably a one-day park is if you have kiddos who are under 5 years old, as there's just not a lot of attractions that they can experience. So it might be a one-day park for those groups. But let's talk about number 2. You know what? I'm gonna get under tables for this entire video. How about that, editor? I have so many tables in my house. Number 2, the best land is not what I was expecting. You might be the same way in that you have the one land you're really looking forward to at Epic Universe. For me, that was Dark Universe. I was excited for all 4 of the main lands and even Celestial Park a little bit, but Dark Universe for me, I'm a Universal Monsters girl, I love Dracula. I was super pumped for this land, well beyond the others. And then as objective expectations go, I'm seeing a lot of excitement for Dark Universe, but also for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, since those are historically very popular lands, and for Super Nintendo World, since the other parks around the world that have it, there's a lot of buzz around this. But in fact, Isle of Berk was a winner for me, and for many other people I talked to as well, people calling it a sleeper hit. And towards the end of the day, I realized I just might like Isle of Berk a little better than Dark Universe. Isle of Berk has everything. It has wonderful aesthetics, it has incredible walk-around characters and wait-in-line meet and greets. The show is amazing, and the attractions are well-loved. In fact, I think what really sets Isle of Berk apart is that it has the heart. It feels magical to walk around Isle of Berk. And I could spend a whole day there just taking in the super immersive, magical atmosphere that makes me feel like a little kid again. And I like How to Train Your Dragon, but I was never a mega fan. So it super surprised me that this was my favorite land. A lot of people agreed. It has 3 rides and a show. So it does have like the most attractions out of any of the lands. Frankly, all 4 of the lands at Epic Universe changed the way I feel about how theme park lands should be developed. They took what worked with Diagon Alley and probably what they heard worked with Galaxy's Edge and Avengers Campus with the walk-around characters and the immersion. They made all of those things better, and then they did it 4 times. So it's pretty cool. I'm not sticking to my guns with the table thing. I just can't handle it. It's brutal down there. Number 3, the food takes a while. Now, theme park food is something you probably want to be quick. Unless you're doing a full table service, sit-down reservation, you kind of want quick service to move quickly so you can get back to the rides and back to the fun. Don't expect that at Epic Universe. Universal in general hasn't quite got the whole quick food serving thing down pat, especially as they've started to do more themed food with more draw. You'll see typically pretty long lines for the popular food establishments, and at busy times, service can be relatively slow. Their mobile order doesn't work that smoothly, and it can still be a long wait even if you are using mobile order. This is even true at Stella Nova and Terra Luna, which are the newest restaurants that Universal has opened because they're in the Epic Universe hotels. If you go at a peak time, it could take you a while to get from arriving at a restaurant to getting your food. So you need to plan for food to be a part of your day and not just a quick break. There is a lot of cool themed food at Epic Universe that you might want to try, and fun themed drinks as well. Be prepared to have a bit of a wait while they smooth out these systems, and it could take a while before service is running quickly at these food spots. Even on the media day, I saw long lines at a lot of the snack stands. So pro tip, plan your food like you'd plan your rides. Make it a feature of your day and don't expect to be in and out at a location even if it's a quick service. Use it as a nice relaxing pause in your day, get in the air conditioning, get in the shade, and have a nice food item. Just don't try to swing by something super quickly on your way to something else because your timing might end up being a little bit off. Number 4, the park is designed for crowd flow, and that has pros and cons. I kind of knew that Epic Universe was going to be designed for crowd flow. It is basically an elongated version of the hub and spoke, which was first popularized by Disneyland and then Magic Kingdom, where there's this main hub and little spokes that lead out to the different lands. This park is 100% designed that way, with Celestial Park being the hub, with huge pathways that crisscross all throughout and feel a lot like a park, a beautiful park. Then you can go into the portals, and that's when you move into the main lands. The portals can be closed off to manage capacity around the park or even have private events in the portals. And the pathways are so big in Celestial Park that crowd flow should move pretty smoothly throughout there. In fact, Celestial Park feels like it's made to hold a lot of people at one time. Because of this, it feels very open and less congested, and even with high crowds, I think that it will move relatively smoothly. But there are cons to this as well. For one, a little bit harder to have shade when you have really big pathways, so there just isn't a ton of shade around Epic Universe. There's certainly spots where you can find it. Pretty much anywhere I was able to step to the side into the shade of a tree or a building, but the main pathways are out in direct sunlight, and this is Florida, so that UV is high, baby. It is on ultra, or whatever they call UV when it gets above the scale, for most of the summer. So sunscreen and hydrate, 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 because it's a lot of sun. It does mean that the park is very beautiful and relaxing, and even with a lot of people in it, you should have elbow room and room to experience things, but it also means that there might be a little bit more walking. So don't forget to wear comfortable shoes as well. Number 5, Epic Universe has all the things that make a theme park feel like real magic. My team has been discussing Epic Universe since I went on the press preview, and we've had a lot of thoughts. One of the biggest questions I've been asked by my team is, Magic Kingdom and Epcot have this factor that make them feel magical. And maybe Hollywood Studios and the other Universal parks and Animal Kingdom don't have whatever that is. Epic Universe does. Epic Universe feels magical. It takes you into these stories that you love, or maybe even stories that you've only kind of heard of, and it takes you into all of these different worlds. There are details everywhere you look where they've used technology and incredible artistry to make it feel like these stories are coming to life around you. The characters roaming are some of the best character interactions I've ever had. And sure, it's early, so we also probably have the best characters that we'll see Epic Universe have in these early days. But the design of the character meet and greets is that so it feels natural, it feels lived in, it feels alive. A lot like Avengers Campus in Disneyland. I mean, I keep joking that I literally have parasocial relationships with the characters. I'm like, man, I have got to have the Bride of Frankenstein and Victoria's Frankenstein creation over for dinner. I love those guys. Gobber, we need to go shopping. I love him. I feel like the characters are so well done and well fleshed out. And it's not just the characters, and it's certainly not just the big rides, although those are great. Each of these lands is so fully formed that it really feels like you're there. There are things to actually discover when you're around, interactive elements, lore, and stories to each of the land to get immersed in, and even some playful surprises too. Universal 100% nailed that feeling of being in a world, not just visiting a theme park. That level of detail makes the park feel alive in a way that is really exciting as a guest. It feels like a whole experience, and yes, it feels really magical. And I can't wait to go back. Those were my 5 biggest surprises about Epic Universe. If you're still here, like this video and drop this secret code in the comments so I know you made it all the way. And don't forget to subscribe. We do info, tips, challenges, and more from Universal and beyond 7 days a week. We're serious about fun here. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.